something that Marie and Tyler were talking about on their way to his office. I didn't take it as a throwaway line. I kind of, when I rewatched it earlier today, when Tyler mentions to Marie that you were the first one, Leo, you touched on it. You were the first one to come back after the blip. I've either had people are still shooken up or they're still lost somewhere, which I was looking online, and this isn't my theory. I definitely don't want to take credit for it, but some people were theorizing that that reference could have meant that they were maybe pointing us towards Fantastic Four, that people were lost out in space, and maybe that blip and them coming back, negative zone, quantum realm, or whatever the case may be. So again, I'm a big fan of Marvel. I don't think they have throwaway lines. So I think that line of there are people still lost in space may come back and plant the seeds for the Fantastic Four. Just your thoughts on that, Leo?
Oh, man. Well, I love Fantastic Four. I did not pick up on that, but I love that people are picking up on these little details and things like that. If that means we get our Fantastic Four, hey, I am all for it. Personally, I believe it's going to be like the multiverse of madness and things that are bringing in the Fantastic Four and the mutants. But hey, if this is it, like if somehow the blip kind of gave people these powers and, Reed Richards from the blip somehow becomes Mr. Fantastic, like, I'm all for it, man. I love the thought of that. And, I didn't pick up on it, but I think that's a good thought.
Tossing it to you, Chris. It's the idea of people being lost in space and knowing that there's a space program. Again, Photon, maybe we'll see Marie take her way up to space and kind of getting her powers in that sense. But what's your kind of thoughts on that throwaway line or maybe important line of people being lost in space? And who knows if that is the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, I definitely heard that theory, and I was so fascinated by it because even in the opening, they make it seem like wherever you were when the blip happened, that's exactly where you come right back. And you even see, like, for a split second, there's a guy who just reappears out of bed, and the woman does not recognize who this guy is. She was just kind of freaked out that he appeared. So that throwaway line where they're like, we got a space program, a bunch of astronauts just disappeared because, space, you're constantly moving. Spaceship's not exactly where you left it 5 years ago. Those people reappear in space who's just floating in space. That could be the Fantastic Four crew, getting into, I don't know, like the negative zone or into a wormhole or something like that. That would be a great setup, would make a lot of sense. I'm still curious to see how they're going to even implement the mutants. Everyone has that theory that Wanda's going to somehow bring them in. We'll see. But I like that. And I even have another theory I heard when we get later into the episode I want to dive into as well.
Definitely, man. Owen, man, tossing it to you on just thoughts of Fantastic Four. And again, there's a reason why, a happy accident in a way that this is the first project of Phase 4, and this could plant the seeds for Fantastic Four, X-Men. We talked about Magneto off screen, but just kind of your thoughts on what that line could have meant of people being lost in space.
Yeah, honestly, you probably saw as soon as you said the words Fantastic Four how much my face lit up. There are a few people that really want a good Fantastic Four movie more than me. And Chris, I think that was a really interesting theory you had there about, people showing up exactly where they were. If Reed Richards and the gang were just on a normal space mission when they left, 5 years later, they come back on the same ship. And, they're in the middle of a cosmic ray storm or whatever. Yeah. That's they end up going through a wormhole into the negative zone or, something to do with like Galactus and cosmic energy. That's a pretty good way of introducing them, honestly. It's not something I'd considered, but that would work quite nicely.
We'll see, man. And again, this Phase 4 is definitely opening the gates for the future of the MCU. But cutting back